We've been very busy since I last spoke to you. After 17 years at Waterloo, we completed the move to Seven Hills. The warehouse site was rezoned to residential, and although we didn't want to move, we went from this to this, and it's so much better. We are now in a brand new complex at number 1 Prime Drive, just off the junction between the M7 and M2 motorways. We've gone from an old, dimly lit warehouse with uneven concrete slabs to one with far better natural light, with modern, efficient LEDs. We've installed double the racking storage that we had at Waterloo, and it's a better layout. The complex we're in utilises solar panels with a battery backup. Our electricity bill has dropped from over $1,300 a month to between $150 and $200 a month. We've installed a new phone system that is far more flexible with the ability to incorporate our mobile phones, and it's also dramatically cut our monthly bill from around $2,000 a month to under $500 a month. I've refreshed the look of the Eco and Goldline packaging artwork to a cleaner and sharper display. This includes updating the back of pack information, highlighting the environmental credentials of the Eco ranges. The new website is in its final stages of development and should launch very, very soon. I'm proud to say we have still been able to maintain our first-to-market updates for the latest chips for 4 years straight now, meaning the Eco and Cartridge Universe stock is the most up-to-date with the lowest firmware rejection on the market. Keeping your stock up to date and, more importantly, keeping track of what your chip status is can be a pain point, but it is critical in keeping your rejection rate lower than the competition. Our charts help you stay on top and stay ahead of the rest. Due to the developers, actually let's call them vultures, at the old warehouse, the move was very rushed and stressful. Normally a move like that would occur over a 3 to 6 month period, where you'd first locate a premises, arrange racking and transport, and engineer a smooth transition from one location to the next. Instead, we were given 1 month to not only find a new warehouse in a market with no supply of warehouses, but also to move. None of the 12 businesses at the old location made the deadline, and we were faced with daily visits from both the developer and the agent threatening legal action and lockouts. Once we found the right site, the minimum lead time for accredited racking people was around 3 weeks. We ended up having to move the stock off the racking, store it, move it to a new location, store it, move it out again to allow for some racking installation, move more stock in, wait a further 3 weeks for the second tranche of racking, clear some space for the second racking, move more stock from storage, wait a further 3 weeks for the third trench of racking, and then install the picking racks. So you might ask, after all of that, did anything go wrong? Well, the storage we arranged was pulled at the last minute after we'd booked all the trucks. The first group of removalists failed to show up, and when they did, they let us down. The new warehouse was not ready to move into on the agreed date and ended up being 3 days late. In desperation for storage, we commandeered my mum's garage, she's got a large garage, just to get some stock off the property under the threat of being locked out. We hired our own truck and had issues with picking it up. Then I bogged the truck on my mum's front lawn at about 10:30 p.m. after a full day's work of moving. Try getting a towing company out late at night to move a truck with no access. I mean, it's great fun after a long day of work. I came within seconds of punching out the developer when he started screaming at Lee and waving papers in both our faces. I found out from the Business Council of Australia that we have no rights as tenants and we're potentially liable for about $200,000 to $300,000 in damages if we delayed the developer. Their brilliant advice was to either shut the business and just walk away, or shut the business and put everything into storage. The cleanup company disposed of a lot of my camera and lighting gear. We had 3 areas to move. Things to move to the new warehouse now, things to put into storage containers, and things to dispose of in the skip bin and the rubbish removal trucks. In the rush, things meant for moving went into the rubbish. Huh? The agent then told us, just at the last minute, that we were also responsible to remove all of the old slat wall on the walls and remove the racking and signage that was there when we moved in years ago, and to clean the place. Remember, they're demolishing the building with trucks, smashing the building down, but they want us to clean it. If I'd taken the owner's racking without asking, they would have said I stole it. but instead they insisted that I had assumed ownership because I'd been tenants for so long. They have not returned the $18,000 bonds, saying they needed to clean up. None of the tenants could sleep while this was going on, with the legal threats hanging over our heads and the daily site harassment. They erected a fence with a threat of locking everyone out, and our neighbour had a suspected heart attack. So after all of that, after we got everything out, I expected to drive past the old site and see bulldozers and piles of rubble. 3 months later, building is still standing. 6 months later, building is still standing with graffiti. The Waterloo chapter has finished, and with it we are leaving behind some great memories, including fun we had visiting store owners, developing brands, some great trade shows, but it's also a chance to close the door on some of the time-wasting people and activities we found ourselves dragged into. At the last trade show I went to, I spoke with a gentleman that was disappointed with some of the people in the industry that he had to work with. His business partner was off talking with some of these management people and he couldn't bring himself to join them. He said, "My advice is don't make friends in this industry because there are a lot of snakes around now and you can't trust anyone." As this gentleman spoke, I looked around the circle of business colleagues I was sitting with at the bar and thought, wow, I'm lucky because I trust everyone I'm sitting with and I can't imagine having to work with people I can't trust. It took that conversation to highlight what I already knew. Life is too short to associate with people that bring you down. It doesn't help your motivation, and you can't control other people's morals or greed. Look at what you can do yourself and surround yourselves with positive, like-minded people. Focus on opportunities. Your life and mind will be better for it. No matter how tough it gets, if you try your best, you can get through anything. Thanks for watching till the end. We love our new warehouse and we look forward to continue serving you into the future.
Like a battery, electricity. Can't get enough. Feel the wind blowing full speed. Come on and follow me.